is Victor Mwangi Mwaura, or if you like, Potent Victor, and this is my journey. I started schooling in Machakos County, a school called Kasaini Primary School. Then from Kasaini, I went to class 1 and 2. I attended class 1 and class 2. Then from class 2, I joined Ngegu Primary School in Ukambani in class 3. My last position in Kasaini Primary School in Machakos County was position 18. I don't know how many students we were, but when I came to Ngegu Primary School, my position changed, and my new position was 81/103. This one, I'm not sure how many students we were. Actually, I was so small and I didn't know what was happening in school. I would give my report form to my aunties and my sisters. Then they would read for me and tell me, you have proceeded to the next class. Now you have passed. I didn't know much about marks. I can't even tell about marks when I was in class 3. However, when I joined Ngegu Primary School, I started learning and understanding things. Now I was in position 181 out of 103. This position changed. 1 came here and 8 came here. This was my worst position in my schooling life. Then I asked myself, what is wrong? There are so many things that changed when I changed school. One thing that changed is that I realized that unlike in Ukambani, where there were no enough papers for examination and only one paper would be printed, so that the examination paper, only the class teacher would have the examination paper and all of us would have now the answer sheet. So the teacher would read the questions, interpret in Kikamba, and read the choices and interpret the choices. So, an example, who was the mother of Jesus? In Kikamba, he would say, no, why nyawa Yesu? And then he would read the choices. Mary, Ruth, Elizabeth, and you say, Mariam, Nelud, Kanani Elisabeth. So for you wouldn't fail that. When I came to Ngegu Primary School in Kiambu, just some kilometers from Kiambu town, I realized that when we come to class, the children would pick their books and start reading aloud. You can imagine the class 3 kids who have just learned how to read. They would read the book, the textbook, and read the stories. Mama alienda sokoni. Mama alinunua samaki. But for me, I didn't know how to read. I would just go through the book and look for pictures. So one day, that thing really troubled me, and when I failed in the exam, I realized, so my biggest problem when you are revising, maybe the question asks, who is the mother of Jesus? But you can't read, so you don't know the question. You have the choices, but you don't know the question. If somebody was reading for you and interpreting, you would understand. Yeah? So I didn't know how to read. I didn't understand. I didn't know what to write or what the answer was. Okay? I know the answer, but I don't know the question. You understand? So that was my biggest issue. So I put it in my mind that I want to know how to read. That was my biggest issue. So where you are, what is your biggest issue? Can you understand why are you failing mathematics? Why are you failing English? Why are you failing that subject? What is your biggest issue? My biggest issue was how to read and understand. Okay? From there, I started moving forward. Now I started learning how to read, and this changed my position. Second term, I was position 74 over 103. The next time, I was position 52 over 103. I always remember this 103, especially for this time. I am not sure whether we continued being 103, but I assume for the whole year of class 3, I was position 81. Flash forward, class 4. I had now learned how to read and write. Then another thing, this is where you have now choices A, B, C, D. You write A, B, C, D. Then there's composition. So I don't know whether I used to pass well in composition, but now I was able to read and I could get the correct answer, and what I don't know I would guess, and maybe I guessed right. But you can't guess right. You can't do guesswork and become among the top students. So here I was position 10. Position 10, I want to assume that we were around 100 students because we were 2 classes, 2 streams. Then I moved to position 18. I started moving backwards. That is normal. No one has just a good trajectory. And that time, I was position 25. Now, this one started worrying me again. Why am I failing? Why am I falling back? Yeah? Why am I falling back? Remember, in lower class, what matters most to us is the position. We don't even know about our marks. So I was position 10, 18, then 25. Come class 5. I came to position 5 in class 5. Then I went to position 3. Then position 2. This guy who moved from position 81 now is in position 2. Then class 6. I became number 1. 1, 1. Class 7, I was 1, 1, 1. And class 8, I was 1, 1, 1. Here, this is KCPE 2009. Can I get some clap? Anyway, so I was position 1 in Ngegu Primary School. Then, how many marks did I have? 370. These marks, depending on where you have been schooling, can be too big or can be too much for government primary school, day school, and it can be again too small for those who have been in private schools, where maybe the mean mark is around 370, others are 380 or above 350. So I am an average to you, but in my school I was a genius. At one point I got 100% in mathematics. This was the mocks in class 8. Why I got 100% is because we had been doing papers each and every time. Actually, every month we used to have JESMA. When you have JESMA papers, every month, you are exposed to many questions, and every time you are able to you become familiar with the questions. And even the JESMA papers, I used to get 94% and 96. That means I have failed 2 or 3. And when we are revising, I find that what I've failed is actually, I got it right, but when transferring the answer to A, B, C, then I had a mistake. So during my mocks, mathematics, that was Kiambu East or Kiambu West, I think Kiambu East, I got 100%. This was surprising to me, and it was a turning point for me. When I went and joined Kijabe Boys High School. That's a school in Kiambu towards Limuru. So In Kijabe Boys, I went there with the mentality that I have come from a public school, a public day school. I have worked hard. I have toiled more than those who have gotten higher marks, and they have been in private schools. And I was so psyched up, and I assumed that I would beat all of them and become number one. To my dismay, the first exam I was position 34. This is Form 1. I was position 34. This was out of 3 or 3. Again, when I joined in 2010, I did this in 2009. So when I joined in 2010, our class was the first time Kijabe had now 5 streams. Before then, there was just 4 streams. That is North, South, East, and West. Now we added a 5th class, which is Central. Actually, today there are 6 streams, and now they have changed the names to red, white, I think some green or yellow. So those colors. Now, when I joined, I was so eager to learn and become number 1, but I became number 34 with a B plus. Then when for term 2, I became this was number 27 out of something. So let's say it's around 3 or 3. But in most secondary schools, it's going to the first year, so many students drop out. I don't know why, because there must be some few 10 students or so who left the school, and the school does not absorb new students, just apart from just Form 1. So I was position 27. Then I went to position 11. This was that term. From there I became number 11 for some time, even Form 2, around 11, 9, 10, just around there. Then in Form 3, I remained number 10, 12, and then that term, which is the indexing exam, I was number 1. Number 1. Then Form 4, I was number 1, in KCSE, number 2. So I was index number 1 and position 2 in KCSE. Here, I had an A minus of 80 points. I don't know whether you can see that. Yeah. So I had A minus of 80 points. So what did I get in each subject? Let me create some space for that. So in mathematics, I had an A, that is 12 points. This is how you count, you sum up your points. In bio, I had an A, that is 12 points. In chem, I had an A, that is 12 points again. Then in Kiswahili, I had an A, that is 12 points. And in CRE, I had an A, that again is 12 points. So far we have 5 subjects, that is 60 points. Then I had agriculture. I had an A minus, which is 11 points. Then I had English. I had a B. This is a B. So you have an A 12 points, an A minus 11 points, a B plus 10 points. So this is 9. When you total this, you get 80. Now, how do you know whether you have an A, you have an overall A or A minus? Actually, an A starts at 81 points, but how do you know? So 80 you can divide by 7 subjects. Your answer will be, it must be 11.4 something or less than 0.5. If it is 0.5, then you round off to the nearest whole number, which is 12. So here, if you round off 11.4 to the nearest whole number, you get 11, which is an A minus. Now, why I'm demonstrating this is to show you how small things can have an impact on your goal. Just 1 point, maybe if I had a B plus, no, this one is not A minus, it is B. Sorry, not B minus, it is B. So if I had a B plus, I would have gotten 10 points here, and I would have an 80 points. Actually, I was position 2 because there was someone who had an A, which was 81 points, and he had a B plus in English. And here he did geography, and he also did physics. He didn't do agriculture. He did geography and physics. So all sciences. So I hope this one inspires you. You can arrange how you'll be getting your points. Just target. Actually, my target was CRE. I didn't target an A. I targeted an A minus. I targeted an A in agriculture, and I targeted a B plus here, so that this one would have been 10 points. This one would have been 12, and this would have been 11. So this one changed. So this is what I feel, but this one alternated. And I'll show you another video on how I got an A in CRE. Actually, I didn't read CRE from the whole of Form 3. And even today, ask me about things about Nehemiah, about Micah. I don't know so much, but I've banked on Form 1 and Form 2 work, which carries the bulk of the work. So, if you continue following up these videos, I'm going to show you many things about working smart. There is working hard a bit, which is okay, and then there is working smart. Yeah, so it is important you work hard and work smart so that you can pass. One strategy of working smart is by using question papers. When you are revising, the best way to revise, this was said by my deputy principal then, Mr. Kigodo. He used to say, the best way to revise is by use of questions, and I followed that. And I kept on reading questions, because when you read questions, you become familiar with the exam, and there is no new exam. Read my lips. There's no new exam in Kenya or even in your school. The teachers just use past papers to create new exams, because they are testing the concept. They are not testing about something new, something novel. They just want to see whether you have learned the concept. Okay, so for example, if I am asking about in mathematics, when you want to know about whether someone has understood about ratios, you just change the question, you just change the ratios, and you change maybe the names of those people. If you want to talk about area, perimeter, and surface area or volume, you just change the numbers. Okay, so from Kijabe Boys, I joined Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, JKUAT, and there I did Bachelor's of Science in Actuarial Science. BSc, Bachelor of Science in Actuarial Science. This one deals with mathematics, finance, and insurance. All we do is try to quantify and deal with the risk. Okay? So that's all about me. And now uh, I do consulting, and I'm an enthusiast in education. That is why I I make these videos. I try to train and coach students on how they can better their future and how they can pass their exams. Thank you. So I'll be guiding you on specifics. When I went to when I was in first year, I went to one school in Kiambu, just near our home in Banana. And when I went there, I found the deputy principal. And when I was talking to the deputy principal, she told me, I told her that I am a motivational speaker and I would like a chance to speak to her students. And then she told me, hawa wetu, they are weak. Hata hawataki motivational speaker. They want a person to show them 1 + 1 is 2. To show them that it is simple. And what I do, and that has inspired me and has guided my journey. Whatever I do, I try to show you that it is simple. Passing exams is simple, okay? And then I also coach you and guide you on career choices. So you can comment there what course you would like us to discuss in our next video, and I'll sure to guide you, okay? But I also create a career guidance general video where you can contact me with and we can talk and I'll guide you on career choices, okay? Thank you.